My name's Varrock Herald, and I'm on a mission to defeat every boss in Runescape in release order. Today's video will be a little shorter with leagues coming up and a big video coming next week for Theater of Blood. Though I'm still working on getting my Infernal Cape in the background, the series has brought us up to 2018. We've got a couple bosses this week, and then we're on to TOB. That's enough chit chat, let's get right into it. First on the chopping block today is the Deranged Archaeologist. This dude's basically the crazy archaeologist without the Indiana Jones references. Once you're out of the early / mid game, this fight is pretty much a no-brainer. Just make sure you dodge those special attacks and you're good to go. The fact that I remembered a rake and axe to do this kill is honestly a small miracle. Pretty much every time I come here, I forget at least one of those things. Early on, we might be looking for some runite limbs here. But now any high alchable is good. Little black d'hide body, we'll take it. You see this fit and you already know what we're doing. Let's grab a quick Vorkath KC and get the heck out of here. To be totally honest, this took me like 4 attempts to make this. Not because I'm a truly awful player, but the first 2 times I forgot either a prayer or anti-fire pot, and the next 2 OBS decided to corrupt my recording files. So what you're actually witnessing here is more like the 5th KC for the series. It's been quite a while since I've been up here, and I forgot how slow these kills can be. Obviously the ruby bolts do a lot of heavy lifting, but I forgot just how many times in this fight you just flat out miss. And to be fair, I'm probably getting a little spoiled with my Bofa. I'm getting highly accustomed to hitting everything very accurately and for like a 50 every time. So that's basically it. Pretty standard Vorky kill. Nothing super significant in the loot category either, but of course, some crafting and prayer XP is always a win. Next up, I grabbed the Gargoyle's task and we're on to the Grotesque Guardians. This was my first time doing this boss on this account, and I forgot just how well themed this fight is. I'm sure I'm not the only one who rings that bell and just immediately thinks of Dark Souls 1. If you've never done this before, this fight's a pretty unique one. Taking turns between fighting 2 different enemies is a pretty interesting concept for a boss fight. I'm sure Jagex learned a lot from this design when they were making Royal Titans. Essentially all we're doing here is getting Dawn low enough to where she becomes unhittable, and then we switch over to fighting Dusk. As you can see, Dawn is in the air, so we use a ranged weapon, and then when we switch over to Dusk, we'll switch to the bludgeon. Like normal gargoyles, when it comes to melee, they're weakest to crush. And the same principle will be here. We'll fight Dusk down to the point where Dawn comes back, and then we'll enter the next phase. And I'm sure that special attack was very dodgeable, but I was not prepared. Now that Dawn is back in the mix, there's an extra level of complexity here. We first need to move around and not get hit by any of those spaces, and then we'll refocus on Dawn. The rest of the fight's pretty straightforward. We'll finish off Dawn, switch to Dusk, and we'll be good to go. 1 down, now we'll switch over to Dusk, and we'll wrap up the fight with melee and get out of here. I definitely didn't realize it at the time, but because this was my first KC, I think I completed like 4 or 5 different combat achievements. And we grabbed some Onyx Bolt tips, so I'll call that a win. And to wrap up today, we've got another lightning fast boss, Bryida. Very similar to how Obor went, this was one of the fastest ones of the series. You can definitely tell that this was made for very early accounts and free-to-play players. And naturally, we get pretty much nothing but some prayer XP. Hey, that's alright. I hope you enjoyed today's video, even though it was a short one. If you did, please consider liking and subscribing, and we'll see you next time on